Okay, guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, okay, so I just did the monthly readings. I did Pluto and Aquarius slash period 9 reading. So that's for the next 15 to 20 years. Um, and then I wanted to do for the year. So this is the year of the horse. It started in February. February, March, April were the springtime, and we focused on clearing things up, spring cleaning, doing that mentally, emotionally. We were probably seeing a lot of things in our dreams. It was probably very emotional. I started working out again after years, and I thought I always worked out regularly, but I realized I really stopped. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I had to exert more energy and like life required that because I had to be here, I had to be there, and I was like so tired, so exhausted. I had to do this, I had to do that. But it's not the same as working out, and it's not with the same intention. So I had that. I was having a lot of dreams. I was having dreams about other people, and it was freaking me out. And I was like, oh my God. Then I got to a point where I don't know what happened, but I haven't been able to remember my dreams when I wake up now in the past month. So I'm like, okay, anyway, I'm working on that. But that was the first 3 months. We just got over the first 3 months of like planting seeds. What seeds do we want to plant? What direction do we want to go? What the foundation is going to look like? How we're going to grow things? All those things, spring cleaning. Now we're getting into some where things start to grow, which is May, June, July. That's when things really start to grow and things like that. And then we're going to get into August, September, October, which is going to be the fall season. And then we're going to get into November, December, January, which is going to be the winter season. So for the year, it is it's a yang fire year. Okay. So that means visibility. The animals that are going to get a lot of good luck this year when it comes to um, I want to say like your advertisements, your social media, the way that you put yourself out there in your work. Okay. It's going to be a good time if you were born in the year of the tiger, the horse, and the dog. Um, there's going to be a lot of visibility on your work. Um, this year may be feeling like there's a lot of like pressure if you were born in the year of the ox, the snake, and the rooster. There may be feeling like there's pressure when it comes to career and like what you're putting out there in your social media. It may be feeling like there's a lot of heat, a lot of visibility, and it may be feeling like pressure for you if you're born in the year of the ox, the snake, and the rooster. But it's going to help you come out next year a more refined version of yourself. So even though things may get stressful for the rooster, the snake, and the ox, and there's going to be a lot of planning, a lot of building, and a lot of persistence. Um, by the end of it, if you really have discipline during this time and persistence, and you plan and you build and you do that, and you don't lose your positive outlook and way of thinking and your inspiration, you'll be fine. And you'll come out looking and feeling lighter, more refined, um, more sharp, you know. It's a great feeling, feeling sharp. Um, and then for the tiger, horse, and dog, um, you're going to be feeling this year more passionate, more action oriented, You may be seeing the people who are more loyal to you and the people who are more not. That may be getting more visible, which can hurt in some ways, but it could be a wonderful surprise in other ways. Um, a sense of justice and independence may be very important for people born in the horse, dog, and tiger. Um, and we're gonna talk about that in another video, like just like a general video, because I feel like it is important since we are in the fire year anyways. I think that's why it was coming up, but I'm gonna make a general video for more of this later. Um, whew, let's do more. Okay, so if you are, oh, so generally speaking, it's a great year for entrepreneurship. If you wanted to start your own business, it's a great year for that, especially if it's like just something kind of like weird, crazy, fun. And it's like, I don't know, I just got this idea, like I wanted to do this thing. So that could go really good this year. Um, I think behind the scenes, it's gonna be like I think th there's going to be a lot of work this year, is what I'm getting. Like a lot of work. Ooh, so but have fun, because there's going to be a lot of work, a lot of like energy being exerted in your private life. And like I think behind closed doors, it looks like a lot of people are going to be putting in like endless hours of work, a lot of hours of work. So make sure you're on top of things this year, keeping that in mind. That there's a lot of like training this year. There's a lot of doing shows or whatever it is that you're training for. So there's a lot of training, there's a lot of resting, there's a lot of doing whatever it is that you're doing the training for. So if you're training to run a marathon, there may be a lot of running and then the marathon. If you are a public speaker, you might be like behind closed doors, like taking different types of classes and courses, and this year supports that, but I would focus on the greatest time for learning would be, in my opinion, June and December. So focus on June on learning the most, but plan your year out wisely. Um, the heck, there is for myself. I did. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be a fiery time. So yeah, I think this year I didn't write it down, but I know for sure this year you may be feeling like extra wise. I think everyone's going to be feeling wiser, more introspective, more looking within, sharing wisdom. It's going to be a great year for being on social media and telling stories and sharing your wisdom and your experiences. It's a great year for that. Um, so yeah. But when it comes to the wisdom energy, I would say apply that. But when you apply it and you put it out there, right? Because we're talking about business, career, work, because it's a 10 year, which, we're in 2026, 6 plus 2 plus 2 is 10. that is stability, foundation work. So whatever it is that you're doing this year is really helping with that, right? So while we're in this year and we are working really hard externally, like in a way people can see, but also privately in a way people can't see, you know? Um, like when you're at home and you're like working out and you got face masks on and you're like meal prepping and like things like that that people can't see. Um, what I was saying, I lost my train of thought. So basically, when you are doing, like putting, okay, yeah. So I was talking about year 10. So it's a year 10 business, career, stability foundation. It's also the year of the horse. So during this time, it's a great time for entrepreneurship, right? Because of the year of the horse. But with all this energy being exerted, you're gonna need a place and a space to really rest because you're exerting all this energy. So make sure your home environment is good, make sure your room is clean, and you have a space that you can be grounded, stable, that feels stable, that you can always go back to. So even if you travel a lot this year, which this year supports traveling until next year, like for sure January. Um, so traveling is supported. Traveling is good this year. Being on social media, gaining visibility, that's supported this year. But behind all of this, um, make sure that you are listening to yourself because you have a voice and you need to listen to yourself first. And a lot of things are going to be getting illuminated. But then when you go out into the world, it's not going to come off like that. It's going to come off probably more like the best way to come off, I think, is like, honestly, like when you're like doing your social media stuff, if that's what you're focused on, or your advertisements, um, and things like that, your marketing, I think it's better to come off like letting, like listening to your heart and being authentic. Being authentic and listening to your heart. And I struggle with that because I feel like when I show that, people uh try to take advantage of me. And so what has to happen behind that, right? So the goal is one thing, the intention is another. I think the thing behind the authenticity and being led by your heart is gratitude and joy. So being optimistic, being curious, learning, that could be a good support for a lot of people. Learning and being optimistic and grateful and looking at what you have. And there's some exercises I want to talk about that didn't come from me. They came from other people, but we'll talk about that. Um, gosh, I keep losing my train of thought. Um, but yeah. Okay, so maybe that's all I had to say. I was saying being intentional, moving with your heart and being authentic. So moving with your heart and being authentic when you're putting things out there for people to see, that's the best way to go about it. And when you're not getting that attention, if you're not getting it yet and it's still building or you're still have something else to change or something, or when you just need that like support and it's not coming from external sources and it's just coming from yourself, go to what makes you joyful, what makes you feel grateful. For some people, it's spending time in nature. For some people, it's spending time with their family, their romantic partner, art, animals. So that's another source of stability as well. Being in a positive, grateful, joyful way, because that's how you want to come off when you're putting things out there. And if you actually really want to come off like that, it has to be authentic, right? Which we talked about. So authenticity and moving from the heart. And being around people we love and doing things we love helps us just naturally be there without trying too hard or forcing a smile. So I get there too, which is why sometimes I don't want to post. But this year is gonna feel like that. This year there's not really any flow. So this year something you guys have to watch out for as well is like if you don't feel like doing something or it's like um or you're waiting for something to like feel like the right moment, you know? This year you really can't wait for things to feel like the right moment. Like you do to a certain extent, and now you guys know what's going on. Like, okay, so this and that, but um, what I'm doing. I'll leave it like that. But so yeah, so this year because there's no natural flow, if you're waiting for things to feel right, keep that in mind that things are going to be feeling like that all year, and you may actually miss some opportunities because you were waiting for something to feel like the right moment, and you miss some opportunities. So sometimes make sure you're well rested and make sure you're like, okay, like I've given it enough time, but now I have to make a decision. You're gonna be met with a lot of things like that this year and next year in January until we're in the new Chinese animal. So just make sure behind closed doors, you're really nurturing what it is that you're putting out there and that you're making wise decisions with what you're putting out there and when you're putting it out there. Okay, so the year really has to do with things like that. What are we putting out there? What do we want to be seen for our marketing or our career or our social media? And marketing doesn't always have to be business. It could be that you're looking for a romantic partner and you're marketing yourself out on social media like TikTok and things like that. So apply that to how it fits. Not everyone feels that they have a career, but it's like, what are you going to be focusing on? Or if you're going to be putting things out there and they're going to be seen, what's the best way to go about it? So I think I mentioned the animals that are probably going to be struggling the most, which is going to be, what did I say? The rooster, the ox, and the snake are probably going to be feeling like a lot of pressure, heat on what they're putting out there. And what helps the ox, the snake, and the rooster this year when it comes to social media and marketing and things like that is going to be having discipline, determination, being ambitious, planning, building. I think I mentioned that. And then, for the tiger, the horse, and the dog, it's going to be a better year and an easier year for you guys. And it's going to be easier for you guys, like when you put things out there, it's going to get more attention for the year of the horse. Um, and when you're putting things out there, there's going to be a lot of like leadership energy. People are going to be feeling a lot of like protector energy around you. So that's cool. Courageous probably is another one. And just make sure that you're moving in a way that's like correct, quote unquote. But we're gonna get into that later because it is a fire year. So we're gonna get into that later. Um, and think that's it for the fire year. So it's a great time for leadership, entrepreneurship, doing fun things. If you're gonna like, you can be like a fun, entrepreneur, like maybe like with art. It's a great year for artists. The next 15 to 20 years probably is too, but just this year in general, it's a great time for visibility for an artist too. Um, Doing something fun and make sure you're supporting yourself and nurturing yourself behind closed doors because this is a very hot year. So you got to drink a lot of water and have a lot of fun because that's what the heat is about. That's what the summertime is about. Things coming into fruition. And it's a great way to start the next 15, 20-year cycle. But there's just not really a lot of flow. So if you're waiting for things to feel right to do things, um, sometimes it's good to wait, but make sure your direction is good, your path is cleared, you're optimistic, you feel good and open about it and not closed off and fearful and like you're protecting yourself about it. And it should be a pretty good move, but yeah, not a lot of flow this year. You're gonna have to like create a lot of that flow. So like if you may have to like send more emails to get things moving more and not rely so much on other people responding to you. Putting more traction out there, if the traction isn't like happening itself, get things moving. So have patience, take care of yourself. Hopefully this is a great year of the horse for everybody, and hopefully it's been going great so far. And everyone, I feel like already knows what to do. Listen to your own intuition. This is just what I saw. So if your intuition has been telling you maybe to post more on social media or to nurture yourself more behind closed doors because you really are putting in a lot of work, even if you may not be getting recognition for it yet. Um, it's still happening because there's a lot of visibility this year. You will get the recognition, but um, yeah, the sun's going down. Oh yeah, I want to make one more video. So hopefully this is good. If not, I'll make another one or a few more. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy.